welcome to the Cash Flow Factor. I'm Dawn Porthouse, your host, and I'm so excited you're here. This podcast is all about celebrating the grit and passion of small business owners who've turned challenges into opportunities and built thriving businesses. Each episode is packed with inspiring stories, practical tips to help you master cash flow and take your financial success to the next level. Let's dive in and make your business unstoppable. Today, I'm to introduce Michael Kasberg, estate planning and probate attorney from Franklin, Massachusetts, who built his career through determination and resilience, attending law school at night while working full-time. Now, as a business owner, Michael combines legal expertise with a client-first approach to help families navigate life's major transitions. A four-time Super Lawyers Rising Star, he's dedicated to supporting his community and creating a lasting legacy through his purpose-driven work. Michael, welcome to the Cash Flow Factor. It's a privilege to have you with us.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Great. So let's start with your story. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What inspired you to become an attorney?
Sure. I guess I didn't have the traditional avenue of becoming an attorney. I didn't go to college thinking I was going to be a lawyer. I didn't even graduate college thinking I was going to be a lawyer. I was a history major. I always thought I was going to be a teacher.
Wow.
It just happened that the very first job I got out of college was a paralegal at a law firm. At that point, I was doing real estate type work, and that was great. I really enjoyed it. And then the foreclosure boom came. I'm sure many people can remember when that happened. But once that hit, there wasn't much real estate left to do. So I had to transition. I still really loved the law. I still really enjoyed doing it. So the next job I got was also at a law firm as a paralegal. And that was an estate and tax and probate firm. And that's kind of where I got my passion for it. And it helped me grow to where I am today. And I was the paralegal. So people who understand the way a law firm works, the paralegal does all the work, right? And so one day I just kind of realized, hey, I'm doing all the work. Why don't I go to school and become a lawyer? And that's kind of where it jumped off from there. So I went to night school, like you mentioned. I was still working full time as the paralegal, and I never looked back. Loved every minute of it.
So when you went into estate planning, how different is that from real estate? Is that why you transitioned? It was just a natural transition, or is it something that you also felt was really important?
One of the things that I love about estate planning is it covers many aspects of law, right? I have to know tax law. I have to know real estate law. I have to know corporate law. In addition to estate planning and elder matters, I have to know a very wide range of laws. And that's one of the reasons I really like it, because I have to know a lot of different things. Every case is different. It really is one aspect of law that people want and they actually need. Nobody wants a divorce lawyer. Nobody wants a criminal lawyer. Nobody
So
wants a
true.
personal injury lawyer, but everybody wants and needs an estate planner because what I do actually helps families and individuals.
So what are some of the challenges you've seen as people that don't plan?
Yeah, I have a couple sayings. The worst time to find me is when you need me, right? So what that really means is it better to get ahead of a problem and resolve it before it happens? Or is it better to fix something after a problem has occurred? It's always better to get ahead of something. Most of the time when people are coming to me when it's too late, it's gonna just be nothing but more money, more time, and more grief. Where if they came to me early on before they actually needed me, it would be a lot smoother. It would be a lot less expensive. It would be a much better experience for sure. So a lot of times when people come to me, something happened in their life to got them thinking about it. Whether it's a death of a parent or other family member or an illness, something sparked it. I would say the majority of cases are ahead of the game, which is good. I hate having the conversation where I have to tell them it's too late. We can't do it that way. We have to do it another way, whether it's going to court, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's time, money, and grief when you wait too long.
And I know you also are in your own practice. So what made you decide to go into your own practice versus just working for another law firm or another big law firm?
Yeah, I always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to have my own business. And, you know, it certainly is stressful. It's a different kind of stress for sure, rather than going to work every day doing, your 9 to 5 or whatever it is. Cause I never turn it off. I'm always working. I'm always thinking about it, but I love it because it's for me. And when I started my own firm, I think I'm right around my 10th anniversary right now. So roughly 10 years ago, it was at a point in my life where I kind of looked at it and I said, it's now or never. I wasn't married at the time. I didn't have children at the time. So I looked at him. If I fall flat on my face, the only one I'm hurting is me and I can recover. So I took the leap, haven't regretted it one day since.
What's some of the things you wish you knew or wish somebody told you prior to starting your own practice about running, yeah, about running the practice? Or were you feeling confident when put out your shingle and just,
Yeah, so I'm confident in my abilities. I always was. I'm a good lawyer. I know I'm a good lawyer. The hard part is, convincing your clients that you're a good lawyer, especially when you're on the younger side and now you're your own boss and you have to get your own clients. A hurdle I had back then was, some people would say, "How old are you?" You know, discredit you just by maybe I looked young. You get over that. Once you start talking to them, they understand that you know what you're doing and, they have confidence in you. But that was difficult, so getting people in the room with you is not the easiest thing in the world. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of energy, a lot of networking. For the first year or two, I definitely struggled just because I was networking and trying to get the referral sources and things like that, because my practice is 95% referral based. So, and that's also good because if I didn't do a good job, I wouldn't have clients. Over time, it started to spike. I got referrals from other attorneys, other professionals like CPAs and financial advisors and insurance people and other clients as well. Over time, those referral sources have grown. And that's primarily because of all the hard work and time and effort I put in early on. So getting the work is difficult. Finding the time to do the work is difficult. Time management is something that I struggled with and I still struggle with, to be honest with you, because, it's just, it's hard to wear all the hats and having your own firm and having your own business, you try to wear all the hats and I'm slowly realizing and even continue to realize I can't do it all. And there's things that I need to let go of and that will make me be more efficient. So I definitely struggled with that early and I still struggle with that.
so as your own boss, how many hours a week do you think you're actually working on the business versus in the business?
I would say 50-50 on the business and in the business. When on the business is the networking, right? The
Yep.
going out and meeting people and trying to expand and grow the business. And then the other 50% is actually doing the work, right? Having the meetings, doing the things I tell people I'm going to do and, doing the legal practice. And it's a lot of hours. It's maybe I'm not sitting at my desk, for 40, 50 hours a week, but I'm certainly time working is anywhere between 40 and 60 plus. Like it takes time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Most people don't realize how much work it is to be a small business owner because it doesn't shut down. Vacations are still working vacations. Sometimes you try to shut it down, but you can't shut it off.
Well, the phone, right?
Yeah.
Blessing and curse, and it's not always easy to escape it, especially in today's day and age where most people want very quick and immediate responses.
So when I've talked to other people, it's a lot of automations. What people are trying to work on is to either that or delegation. So do you see yourself hiring more attorneys or you just plan on finding other ways besides hiring employees to help you get the non-essential work done?
Yeah. So right now it's me and my paralegal. She's great. She's been with me for 5 or 6 years now, and we're a pretty good team and we operate pretty smoothly. She can predict what I'm looking for, and I try to predict what she's looking for. I definitely couldn't function without her. Expansion, it's possible. I have a small firm and I keep it small intentionally because I still want to give that one-on-one experience with me and my client. You go to some of the bigger firms, you meet with the partner, and then the partner hands you off to the associate, and the partner's on to the next thing. And you're dealing with the associate at that point. I don't want to manage more people, to be honest with you. Managing people is not necessarily a fun thing. So I have a small firm, and that's intentional at the moment. Growth is certainly a possibility, but to think about it and do it correctly.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to just go out and expand for the sake of expanding because there's so many different factors besides employees and management and things like taxes and workers' comp and all the things. And then cash flow can become an issue. I've seen that with some of my clients. It's just too much more work. So they're not doing what they thought they could do.
Right.
So yeah, I love it. Intentional is great.
And because I want to give that one-on-one experience, like I said, I think my clients deserve it. That's why they come to me. I think a big reason is because when they hire me, they're getting me. And I think there's a lot of value to that.
I agree. I'm a little prejudiced because I've actually known Mike for years, and I can tell you he is an amazing attorney, and I would highly recommend him to everyone, and I have. So, I, family is important to you. And how do you balance family and work as a small business owner? Sometimes can be hard because our mind's always on what else we're doing, and we're not actually in the moment with our family. So, how do you try to manage that?
It's certainly an ongoing effort. I do make an effort that at a certain time every day, usually 5 or 5, I turn it off and I spend eating dinner with my family and hanging out with my family and doing family stuff. And then if I have to look at the phone later on that night at 8 o'clock or whatever, I'll glance at it. But I do really make an effort to turn it off. And I do try to leave work at work, right? I don't want to go home to my wife and kids and I'm bitching about my day or talking about some work all the time. Like, they care because I'm passionate about it and it's what I do. But at the end of the day, they don't want to hear me talk about work. I want to be present with them. So I do certainly make a conscious effort to do those things.
That's great. So, we've talked about family, business. Let's talk about clients. What type of clients are you looking for? How can they reach you? Tell us anything you'd like to tell us about your practice because I think this is really something a lot of people don't think about, and maybe they should. You're based in Massachusetts, and I know you're licensed there, but if there's anything else you want to tell, please.
Yeah, definitely. So everybody needs a plan, but not everybody needs the same thing. My clients range from somebody who just turned 18, they're going off to college and they need a simple healthcare proxy, right? So maybe mom and dad can talk to health services or whatever in the event something ever happened to them. And then it's maybe somebody just got married and they want to do a simple basic plan for their spouse, or they just had a child and they want to name guardians for the kids. Those are more basic type estate plans. I do a lot of, and then I do more specialized planning with revocable trusts and irrevocable trusts and special needs planning and estate minimization techniques with life insurance or other irrevocable trusts. And it's based on what the client wants and what they need and ultimately what goals they want to achieve. And then we structure the plan to meet those specific needs and goals. And it's really important to make sure that these things are drafted properly, right? Not all documents are created equally. It really matters what they say. Small mistakes can have big consequences. It's really important that you're going to somebody like me who specializes in this area and is very familiar with the things that work and the things that don't work. If it's not drafted properly, you're definitely going to run into some issues and it's not going to work the way you think it's going to work. So, not all documents are created equally, and it's really important to make sure that they're drafted properly. Revocable, irrevocable, special need, Medicaid, nursing home protection planning, right? They're all different kinds of trusts can be used to achieve those goals, and they're structured to achieve that goal, right? So a revocable trust is not going to have nursing home protection, right? So you got to make sure that the trust that you have is really designed to meet the specific goal.
That's great. I will also include it in the show notes so that people will also have a link. Good
Yeah.
job. So if there's anything else you'd like to talk to clients about or how they can best get a hold of you, that'd be
Great. So I have a website. It's kasberglaw.com. That's KASBERGLAW.com. I would point them there. It's a great resource to get some basic understanding of a lot of the concepts of trusts and wills and powers of attorney and probate, special need planning. It's a good place to go to get some general information about that. And then they can either contact me directly through the website or they can reach out to me through the phone. And my number is 508-213-8223. I would say those are the best two ways to get in contact with me to start.
so. As of right now, just to clarify, you are only licensed to practice in Massachusetts. Is that
Yes,
correct? Yes. Okay.
correct.
So if they're calling from another state, you wouldn't be able to help them, or
No, I
would you be
wouldn't,
able
but
to?
I do welcome the calls and people to help and point them in the right direction. I certainly will try.
That's perfect. Well, thank you. It's been so great talking to you, and I wish you nothing but the best with your practice and your family.
Thank you,
So,
Don. I appreciate you having me.
I'm your host, Dawn Porthouse. I want to thank you, Michael, and to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Cash Flow Factor. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and join us next time as we continue exploring the stories of small business owners shaping their industries. Until then, stay inspired and keep making an impact.